In this video, we're going to talk about the distance and midpoint formula. The distance formula is the formula used to find the distance between 2 points plotted in the rectangular coordinate system. This formula is a variation of the Pythagorean theorem. This formula allows you to determine the distance between 2 points plotted in the coordinate plane. Notice it is the square root of x2 minus x1, so that's your second x coordinate minus your first squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, your second y coordinate minus your first squared. So we'll use this formula to find the distance between 2 points. So here's an example. You've got the point 5, 4, so I'm going to plot that in the coordinate system to kind of show you what we're talking about. So I'd go over 5, up 4. Okay, and then negative 2, 7, we go 2 to the left, up 7. So those are my 2 points. We want to find the distance from one point to the other, the distance of that length of that segment. So using the distance formula, it might be helpful to label your points. I'm going to call this point x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So x2 minus x1, so that's going to be negative 2 minus 5 squared plus y2 minus y1, so 7 minus 4 squared. And that's the square root of all of that. So working that problem out, let's see here. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7, so it's going to be squared. 7 minus 4 is 3, and that is squared. So we end up with negative 7 in parentheses squared comes out to be 49 plus 3 squared, which is 9. So we get the square root of 58. Now, no perfect square will go into 58 to simplify that radical. Now, if you wanted an approximation, how many units that would be, you could always use a calculator to approximate the square root of 58. So it comes out to be like 7.62 units long. So this red line segment would be 7.62 of these rectangular units in length. Now, probably in the problem you're working, they will expect you to give the exact answer, which would be the square root of 58. Let's try one more. In this problem, we're going to find the distance between 0 and negative 4, 0, negative 4, and negative 4, 3. So the point 0, negative 4 would be on the y-axis, down 4. And the point negative 4, 3, we would go 4 to the left, up 3. So we want to find the distance between those 2 points, so the distance of the length of that line segment. So distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's see what we get here. Again, I'm going to label my points x1, y1 and x2, y2 to hopefully help me get my numbers in the correct order. So x2 is going to be negative 4 minus x1, which is 0. y2 is 3 minus negative 4, which will actually be plus 4. 3 minus a negative, so it's going to be plus 4 squared. So negative 4 minus 0 is just negative 4 squared. 3 plus 4 is 7 squared. Negative 4 in parentheses squared comes out to be 16. And then 7 squared is 49. So our distance is actually the square root of 65. And in this problem, again, I cannot simplify the square root of 65. We know that would be a little bit over 8 units in length, but they're probably looking for the exact answer, which is the square root of 65. We also in this video want to talk about the midpoint formula. The midpoint is the point halfway between two endpoints. Like if you have a segment that has two endpoints, we want to find the point that divides that segment in two. the point where that's halfway between the two endpoints. So look at the formula. It's a point. You have an x and a y, but it's going to be the average of the x's, so x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and then the average of the y's, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So it's a pretty easy formula to use if you're given the endpoints. So a line segment has the endpoints 6, negative 2. So let's plot that to see where that actually lies. So it's down here in quadrant 4. And negative 3, negative 8 would be 3 to the left, down 8. So here's the segment we're talking about. We want to find the segment that is halfway between those two endpoints. So I'm going to use the midpoint formula to do that. So I'm going to label my points as well, x1, y1, and x2, y2. So for the x-coordinate, we average them. We say x1 plus x2. So in this case, 6 plus negative 3 divided by 2. And then the y-coordinates, negative 2 plus negative 8 over 2. So that's going to be 3 over 2 for your x-coordinate, which is 1 and 1/2. And then negative 2 minus 8, that's negative 10. Negative 10 over 2, which we could take a little bit further. So that's 3/2. And negative 10 divided by 2 would be negative 5. So if I wanted to plot the point 3/2 comma 5, I'm going to do it in red so you can see where it's at. 3/2 means I'm going to go over 1.5. So we kind of estimate where halfway is. And then down 5, 1.5, down 5. So here is our midpoint of the segment.